Well, it was ugly. It was ugly. There's really no other way to say it. It was frustrating at times. Orlando fell down by double digits, I think once or twice. It really looked like Boston had chances to run away with the game and very nearly did. But Orlando wins, and we're going to have a game 7. So they took care of it. Dwight Howard called for more touches, and he took care of business. 9 of 16 from the field, 23 points, 22 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 turnovers. He did commit 5 fouls. He does still commit some stupid fouls, but it is what it is. He was bad from the free throw line, 5 of 12, but he played an excellent game. Orlando needed it. They really needed it, and Howard definitely delivered, so I got to give ups to that guy. And really, this game was pretty sloppily played. Orlando shot 36.6% from the field and 54.8% from the free throw line. That's beyond atrocious. Boston shot 41.6% from the field and 61.5% from the line. That's close to as atrocious. That's not as bad, but it's bad. Boston shot 17% from 3. Orlando shot 23% from 3. So both of them could not hit their threes. Just an ugly game, a lot of bricks, bad shots, just ugly, very, very ugly from times. But Orlando got a little burst at the end from Rashard Lewis. You know, Rashard Lewis was on and off today. He had periods where he was scoring in bunches, and there were periods where he wasn't getting it done. But, excuse me, he threw in 20 points, 6 boards. So, you know, I got to give him credit because he did come around, and when they needed it at the end, he did score some big buckets. Turkoglu played awful. I was getting ready to go into him because I would have put this loss on him if Orlando lost. And he still did play awful. Just really, really bad. A complete non-factor in this game, but until he hit a 3 at the very end that helped seal the game. He ends up with 7 points on 3 of 13 shooting. Still a terrible game. Turkoglu and Lewis were combined 1 of 9 from behind the arc, so very weak there. Redick was awful, but Redick, you really can't depend on him to do anything, but he was beyond awful today. 0 of 7 from the field. Alston, you know, 11 points, 3 assists, not very good, but reasonable, I guess, because he's not a great player. Petrus, solid off the bench, hit a couple threes, 11 points, 3 rebounds. Courtney Lee, 6 points off the bench. He's still playing hurt, not getting too many minutes, but he does stuff a little bit when he gets out there. It's kind of late right now, but they took care of business, and now we can forget about games 1 through 6. It's all about game 7, and if Orlando can play to their potential in game 7, I'm pretty confident that they can win. For Boston, Pierce still playing hard. He just doesn't have it anymore tonight. 17 points and 9 boards and 5 dimes. So he doesn't have the energy in him to dominate anymore, but he is contributing. Glenn Davis, not a factor, gotten some foul trouble. Kendrick Perkins, very solid, 15 and 10, but he did get in foul trouble at some points, and he walked with the basketball an awful lot. Did have 5 turnovers, so he had some flaws. Ray Allen, completely atrocious. 5 fouls, 5 points, 0 of 7 from behind the arc. 7 rebounds. That was the best thing he did all game, rebounding, so that's not good. Rondo, he did hit a couple threes. He had some jumpers, which is kind of rare for him. And he did have 19 points, 16 boards, which is insane, and 6 dimes. So I'm not going to say anything bad about Rondo. He also had 4 steals, but he did have 5 turnovers, and that didn't help. But Scalabrine hit a couple threes. Oh no, only 1 3, but he did have 7 points and 3 boards off the bench. So, you know, Scalabrine sucks. So if you can get that out of him, you're golden. Eddie House hit a few shots. He ended up at 6. So, you know, Boston's bench wasn't very good, but it was, you know, it's not a very good bench for the most part. If every now and then Eddie House does blow up, but it's not a regular occurrence. But Dwight Howard backed up his talk, and I maintain that this Orlando team, it's on them. I know the game 7 is going to be in Boston. I think it's on them. I think that They need to go into Boston in Game 7 and show that they're better, because right now I don't know if they are. I have a lot of questions about that team, but I feel like it could be in their hands. All you got to do is get the Boston Bigs in foul trouble. I'll talk more about that game later. On the other side, the Lakers not getting it done. They had a chance to close out this series and get ready for Denver, but Denver's going to get more rest because LA really didn't get it done tonight. Houston, they played great. I got to give them props. They came out firing, and when LA was making their push in the early third and cut it to like a 2-point lead, Houston piled on and slowly pulled away. Scola, amazing game, 24 and 12, because he is shorter than the guys that he's playing against. So Scola, 24-12, freaking amazing. Ron Artest, 14 points, not special, but they do have him for his defense. I get that, but how many games in a row is he going to shoot poorly? It's really getting old. Aaron Brooks, awesome game, beating up on Derek Fisher, and Farmar played quite a bit tonight too, so he did a nice job against Farmar too. 26 points, 4 assists. So Aaron Brooks, it's his coming out. It's his coming out party, doing real well. Carl Landry came off the bench, gave them some big rebounds near the end, 9 boards, 15 points. So, they're playing above their heads right now. If they went and laid down and died because, they did give 30 minutes to Chuck Hayes, who managed all of 2 points and 5 rebounds. So when you're starting a guy like that at center, you have every reason to tuck your tail between your legs and give up, because they don't have any centers on this team, but they're playing hard. Scola playing above his head, I think. Aaron Brooks playing above his head. I mean, I don't know, they're really playing inspirationally, and they're really showing me something, I don't know what else to say. I was surprised. I think LA did come out poorly in this game, but Houston, you got to give it up to those guys. So for the LA side, Kobe played fine. Kobe did what he needed to do. Got to the line a lot, 32 points on 27 shots. So he did his thing. Even I'll give Bynum credit, because he did grab 7 rebounds. He didn't make any shots. He didn't get any points, but if he can grab 7 rebounds a game, LA's going to appreciate that. Gasol, not a great game, but he was solid. 14 points, 11 boards. Not a traditional Pau Gasol game, but he was solid. Trevor Ariza, 7 points, 4 rebounds. So I don't know. I haven't figured out Trevor Ariza yet. Every now and then he explodes for 20, and people think he's going to be the next great player, but then he just scores like 7 or 8 in 5 games in a row. So I don't know about this guy. Odom, solid off the bench, 8 points, 14 boards. He did his thing. I think he is capable of scoring more than that, but I do think that he did what he needed to do, because his main role is a rebounder. Farmar, I'm sorry, it's late and I had a long day. Farmar was great, 13 points, played a lot of minutes, made the most of them. He did not shut down Aaron Brooks like he did in Game 4, I think, but he played well. But nothing from anyone else. A championship team is built around 3 really good guys, 3 all-stars, and everyone else is a role player. I don't know where the role players are going to come from on this team, because they have some, but they don't have enough. Where was Luke Walton? Walton should be the kind of guy who can throw in 5 points, 5 boards, 4 assists. That's the kind of stuff you need from Luke Walton. And Vujacic should be hitting at least 1 3 a game, and he should be throwing in like 7 8 points. Shannon Brown, these role players need to step up. I don't know. I had high expectations of the Laker role players coming into this season. It's not happening. Derek Fisher too. I don't want to see Derek Fisher play any in Game 7, because Farmar matches up better with Aaron Brooks. It's just better all around. Fisher can come back against Denver because he needs to play against Chauncey Billups, but this series, I don't want to see Fisher anymore. So, no basketball tomorrow. I'm out.